What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Passion Project. I am so excited to do this again. And today's guest that I have with me is a very, very productive man. He is a hard worker out here in Southwest Florida. You guys may have heard of him, may have seen of him. He does a lot of weddings, a lot of corporate work, and he is a man of God that I really inspired to hang out with. So I want to introduce you guys to Chris Buford here, aka Bam Productions. How's it going, Chris?
Wow, you just, man, blew me away with that introduction. I didn't know that you write that out, or is that just naturally?
No, that comes off the dome, man.
Wow, man. How you doing, man? I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. I'm glad to actually have you on this. I feel like this has been a long time for me to want to do this with you.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta have to put your mic down a little bit. Tilt the.
Down.
I have to tilt this whole thing for you.
Oh, okay. I need to talk more into it, like Jerry, if you're okay. Oh, you can see my face.
See if we can
And this
move
chair
it
kind of.
this way. Yeah, I know. Sorry about the chair. It's not the best comfortable spot.
Okay, so.
All right, cool. That works.
Is better?
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Awesome. We had to do a quick little change in the ending. So I'm glad you got to be on the podcast. This is something I've been wanting to do with you for a good minute. Obviously, I wasn't sure how to get it started yet because
Yeah.
we're both dealing with a lot of stuff. You got
Mhm.
your business to run. You run the church at Agape Christian Fellowship, which we'll talk about later soon. And obviously, I have a lot that I'm trying to figure out as well, and especially bringing the podcast back. So I'm really glad to have you in this to be a part of the new season of the Passion Project. So I thought we can start off this episode with just asking who is Chris Buford.
Wow.
So give me a little bit of a background about yourself.
Okay, yeah. Who is Chris Buford? Well, first off, let me just say, I am a country boy. Because a lot of people probably listen to this podcast. They're like, he's not from around here.
Mhm.
I am not. I'm actually from Alabama. Grew up in this county called Wilcox County. This little town called Pine Hill with one red light. So in 2009, I came to Florida. My brother actually invited me. He was like, hey, bro, I think you should come and give Florida a try and move down here. I did not want to move here. I was like, nope, I'm staying right where I'm at. He's like, no, you have, very comfortable. So once I moved here, I got involved in corrections. And a lot of people don't know that. I worked as a correctional officer for 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Yep. I spent most of my time at Moorhaven Correctional Facility, but at one point I was at Avon Park Correctional Institution as well. So yeah, that's how everything got started. And then after a few years, I ended up moving to Lehigh. From Lehigh, now I'm in Fort Myers. And yeah, that's a little about Chris Buford. I am married with, how many kids I got? Let me see, 1, 2, 3. Should I keep counting?
Hey,
Okay.
go ahead.
4. I have 4.
He's got a good amount.
I was trying to be fruitful and multiply.
Of course, got to spread the name.
Exactly. You want your legacy to live on, so
course.
you got to do what you got to do. So
That's cool. That must have been that's a big change coming from a small town in Alabama to, I mean, Fort Myers, Lehigh. It's not big, but it's a bigger city than
yeah.
the city that you were probably in. So how was that change for you?
If I can be real with you, I was homesick. When I first got to Florida and I moved to Clewiston when I first got down here, I was homesick for like 3 days because it was such a big change from what I was used to.
Mm-hmm.
And then even when I was looking for jobs, could you believe that I couldn't even get a job at McDonald's?
Really?
They wouldn't even hire me.
What?
Like Walmart wouldn't hire me. Like my first almost 2 years, year and a half down here, I didn't have a job.
Wow.
So it was very tough. And in Alabama, I did work since I was 15, from 15 to 18 at KFC frying chicken. I'm like, maybe they would hire me. They didn't even hire me. So it was a
Wow.
tough season for me to navigate, being a young boy who had just become a man, and just trying to figure out how to grow in a new environment. So that was a challenge within itself. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Well, so did you move down here by yourself or were you with your wife when you
No,
moved down?
no, I was by myself when I moved
By
down.
yourself? But
And
you had your 2 kids, right?
no,
Oh, you were by yourself?
I was by myself, I was only
Oh.
8, no, 19. I think I was 19, 18
Oh,
or
wow.
19, whatever. I was very young, so I was just fresh out the water, new kid on the block.
Nice. That's crazy because that is probably around the year I ended up moving to Florida too,
Really?
was, after I graduated high school from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I moved here right after I graduated, like,
Wow.
in 2014, so I kinda relate to that because, like, you
Mhm.
grew up in one part of the country
Yeah.
where when you're moving to a new state, like a fresh start, you're now an
Mhm.
adult,
Yeah.
you're kinda, like, having to restart your life.
Mhm.
So, that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, so that happened to me, and it was a journey, but I eventually, matter of fact, my first, job came from a church. They
Really?
hired me to be their music director.
And that was with Agape?
No, that was a church in LaBelle,
Oh,
Florida.
okay.
Yeah, I was there, playing the piano, singing. My father made me play as a young boy. I didn't wanna play. I didn't wanna sing.
Oh,
He's
so
like,
you were one of them project childs where you're like, "Oh, you're gonna learn the
yes, Al,
piano."
exactly. I was a PK, so which is a preacher kid for those who don't know. So a pastor kid actually. So I, all I did was live and breathe church all day. So I didn't want to play music, but he forced me, but it has paid off well too.
I bet. I mean, because I know for some people it would either make or break you, you know? Some people would get very tired of it,
Mhm.
and they start to,
Mhm.
like, rebel against
Yeah.
the whole church and
Mhm.
Christianity, and
Mhm.
some people are just they just feel like that's what they're meant to do, you
Yeah.
know?
Facts.
So that's good that to hear that you've actually enjoyed doing that because even till this day, you're
Mhm.
still doing it. You're a lead minister at
Yeah.
the church, and it's been great because that's actually how I got to meet you and everything.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, so you moved down here. You say you were a correctional officer for quite a
Mhm.
while now.
Mhm.
Um, when did you decided to start BAM Productions, which is your videography, photography?
That was in the year 2020. I
Okay,
think when did the pandemic happen? 20 or 21? 20, I
I think
think.
somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's when I decided to start BAM Production, which was known as KCA Productions.
KCA.
Yeah, that's
What is
what I
that
thought it was.
for?
That was actually named after my 3 kids at the time.
Oh, okay, that's cute. That's
Yeah,
cute.
yeah, it was very cute at the moment, and then I realized
So, yeah, you said you started your business, KCA. What made you want to switch the name out to BAM?
that's a great question. At the time, first when I first started, I was just all about legacy for my kids. I wanted to leave them something that they could really take to the next level.
Mhm.
Should we stop or
Just that's fine. Just keep it going.
okay, yeah, yeah. So I want to leave them something that they could take to the next level. But at the time, I was dating someone.
Oh.
Okay. So let me backtrack a little bit before I go to that. I went to school for audio production. I
Mhm.
graduated from Full Sail University
Nice.
with a bachelor's degree in audio production. Um, so after school, I realized I didn't really want to do audio production. I fell in love with video because we had a few video projects in school. I was like, oh, this is interesting. So I gave that a try. But then once I started dating someone and I realized this person didn't have any kids, I said, dang, I gotta change the name. It can't be KCA
Yeah.
because it's gonna be KCA plus one. It's gonna be another one added, or maybe another one after that. So
Yeah, you're right, you're
yeah,
right.
so that's when I text my friend group. I was like, hey, you all, I need a new name for my business. I said I want it to be something built up off of my last name. That way it includes every seed that is attached to me. And so that's where I came up with we came up with BAM, which stands for Buford's Audio, Media, and More.
Oh, that's interesting. I actually never knew that.
Yes,
That's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
crazy.
So
Wow.
Buford's audio, media, and more. Meaning, we're going to do live sound. We're going to do studio work. We're going to do video. We're going to do
Yeah,
photos. We're going
like
to do
a
everything.
whole production
Yep,
going on.
one stop shop. That's the goal.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's really exciting to hear. Cool. So you started that, but you obviously been working for the church a lot sooner before even
Yes.
you started your business. Were you doing any media with the church before you decided to start your own videography?
Yes, when I came to Agape 2014, I started off as just a worship leader, but I realized that there was so many gaps that needed to be filled. And I'm the type, I feel like I can learn to do anything. So I began to apply myself and start learning the basics of video, whatever the church may need. So that's what I did. And I began to fall in love with production as a whole. So, and that's when I began to develop, go out to different conferences, training, bring it back to the church. If you look at the church right now compared to what it was in 2014, it would not even look the same.
It's grown.
It
Yeah.
has grown. It looks like it went from like a traditional all white walls and sanctuary to
I think
now.
I remember seeing an old video.
Yeah.
We were watching it in the media room.
Mhm.
Someone was showing a video of it, and I was like, "Wow, this was the church back then." They're
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, we've grown so much."
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
Yeah. All it takes is a few people with passion
Oh yeah,
for ministry, just for production, and things would go to the next level quickly. And that's what we've seen in the past 10 years.
that's awesome. Yeah, because I can say like for me, last year was probably like the first time I've ever actually worked with the church.
Mhm.
I've gone to church. I've gone to like a few mega churches before, and just getting to see like how they use their production team is
Mhm.
it's wild. It's mind blowing.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to do something like that. I just never knew if I was right for the fit.
Yeah.
But after I started coming to Agape with you guys and I started meeting you, we
Mhm.
started like
Mhm.
connecting a lot more. It felt really great to be a part of a group of people where you're like you're not doing things just for a selfish need anymore.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
doing things that
Yeah.
you're actually really wanting to help out to other
You
people.
serving. Yeah.
Yeah, like I can say I love it.
Yeah.
Guys, if you aren't serving at your local church, make sure you serve. You don't have to do media. You don't got to do production. Like there's other
Greet
things you can
people at the
do.
door.
Exactly, pass out flyers or help
Yeah.
with donations,
Yeah.
like anything helps
Yeah.
to be a part of it. Um that's really cool. Um yeah, I actually really enjoyed being a part of stuff like that and
Mhm.
being able to help improve the quality and everything.
Mhm.
Because like right now, and you guys probably don't know this as well. If you go to Agape Christian Fellowship or if you've seen the live streams, we all use Canon, even though Chris
Mhm.
here is a Sony guy.
Yeah.
He's trying to see if we can get the church to switch over to Sony.
Yeah.
But if you see in the New Year's event, man, we
Was all
had
Sony.
FX3 all around. It was the best quality that I've actually ever
Exactly.
seen that we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
I think we even put one of them on a crane before, which was
Yeah.
I was like, "What?
Yeah.
That's crazy."
Yeah. We had a lot of fun, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, so I'm hoping, down the road once we start getting the ball rolling, and I mean, I'm sure we already are getting the ball rolling, but
Mhm.
once the funding and everything comes for that would be so great to see, that
Yeah.
we get to improve and just help the church grow more.
Mhm.
Um okay, cool. So I do want to talk a little bit more about, your role within the church. Obviously, you say you were a minister, you were a fellowship leader. Um, has there ever been any doubt within being a part of joining a church of just taking
Mhm.
over as a lead? Like, did you ever have any struggles? Like, you felt like this wasn't right for you?
That's a great question. Yeah, I would say I did feel like it wasn't right for me. I always felt like God, why me? And that started all the way back in my father's church. When my brother went off to college, my dad was like, "Hey, Chris, you're gonna take over the praise team now." I'm like, "What? I'm only 14. You want me to tell these adults what to do and how to sing the note, all that?" Like, yeah, you got it in you. It's in you. And I remember those words, and that's when I realized it was in me. And when I got to Agape, things became so easy because there was this road of preparation that I had to go through.
Mhm.
Like in the Bible it speaks of David journey that he battled um, bears and lions and tigers or whatever in while he was in private, but people didn't see that. But it was preparing him to be king, and he didn't understand. So there are some seasons in our life where it doesn't make sense, but later on, it's gonna all make sense. And I
Mhm.
came from a Pentecostal church. I ended up moving to Nashville right after high school. I ended up being at this predominantly white church, and then I seen their dang, they got the lyrics on the screen. They manage everything with time. They have a whole entire production, lighting. I said, wow, this is nice. So I enjoyed my time there. And then when I moved to Florida, I went to a Baptist church. It was old traditional.
Mhm.
But I learned more about hymns there. So and from there I was at a church in Lehigh, and there we kind of diversified our sound a little bit. But when I got to Agape, that's when it all clicked and made sense. Like God was just showing me that, Chris, I don't want you to just be a worship leader. I want you to be a worship leader that can diversify his talents, to be different, to do not only old traditional songs, to do hymns, to do new songs, and to
Mhm.
combine it all together. And that's what's been taking place at Agape. It's just a journey. It's a journey. It's my journey.
Yeah, that's
So
crazy.
yeah.
So, what did you enjoy out of all the positions of being at the church? Like,
Mhm.
what would you say was your favorite?
Leading worship, singing.
You like singing?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
could tell
yeah.
every time I watch you up there, you're always acting like you enjoy it, and you really, even when you're like probably cracking your voice as you're just like you're letting the spirit, the Holy Spirit,
Yeah.
just take you right there.
Yeah, and that's my mindset. I enjoy singing so much. And I'm getting to the age now where I'm not that old. I'm only 35.
Of
But
course.
I'm getting to the age now because I've been serving in ministries since I was 14 that I'm trying to prepare the next generation to
Mhm.
take over. And that's my goal. I don't want to be selfish. I don't want to be one of those old grumpy men that trying to hold on to a position.
Yeah, you
When
want to
God
be able
has
to pass it on and just
you,
watch them
yeah.
keep it growing.
Mm-hmm. So that's the
I
ultimate
understand
goal.
that. That's
Yes, sir.
awesome. Well, I like that. I like that a lot. Let me see what other notes I got really quick. Oh, before we continue, I'm gonna note this now because I'm sure you guys have already hearing it. But my dog is barking in the background. I do apologize. I'm living in an apartment by myself, so I can only do what I can do at the moment. So just give my dog a shout out in the background.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk about a little bit of the struggles within industry. So, as a
Mm.
videographer, photographer, were
Yeah.
were there any? Did you have any struggles, any like obstacles that were kind of getting in the way? Like, and I know I asked especially because like I know for us, like in the minority stage,
Mm-hmm.
African Americans,
Mm-hmm.
like there's
Mm-hmm.
always that boundaries of who we can work with,
Yeah.
and it prevents us to getting into those extra rooms. So, were there any? Did you have any like struggles like that?
Yes, sir. When I tell you there was so many struggles, and there still are. There are some rooms that I desire to be in, that I'm still not in, that I feel like I'm qualified to be in, but because of the color of my skin, um, I'm just being real. It's hard, and it's not. And when I say that, I want people to note this. I'm not just saying just to get in white rooms. I'm talking about other black rooms as well,
Mhm.
other Hispanic rooms as well. Because a lot of people say, okay, maybe it's one sided. No, there's a group of people, even in the black community, that it's hard for me to get within that circle as well. But what I've learned through the journey is just to trust God to provide. And once people see me, because people know Bam, I don't care. Any A lot of people in Southwest Florida know Bam,
Yep.
So but I make sure the company presents itself in a way where people want to work with us, and eventually they find us.
Of course.
So but that journey has been a struggle. When I first started out, I was emailing people, I was inboxing people, just trying to connect. Like, hey, let's go out. I'm new to the area. I'm trying to build my brand. Can I work with this venue? Can I work with that venue? Reaching out to them. Some don't respond, but eventually, I don't even remember how, but God connected me with the right people at the right time. And that's when BAM really took off. And that's why if you look at my portfolio, it's very diverse.
That's good.
It's
That's
not just
good.
white, it's not just black.
If
Um,
like
mo
multicultural,
exactly. The crazy part is it almost reminds me of the church.
Yeah, exactly.
So like they say, the spirit of the house rests upon the people of the house. So, and I think that's what people see when they see BAM. They see diversity. They see that BAM could do anything, any style, and that's what I wanted. So yeah.
That's good. I like that because I know for some businesses, you don't obviously want your face to be
Mm-hmm.
the business. You want what your business can provide.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know for me it's a little different because my business is obviously my name. So like I
Mm-hmm.
want to make sure that my brand is people know that I do specific things. So I know
Yeah.
every business is very different.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends
Mm-hmm.
on how you're trying to grow, how you're trying
Mm-hmm.
to lead by example. Um, and I know like for me as well as like because I'm not very knowledgeable within the
Mm-hmm.
business side, I have a lot to learn myself. Um, there's always people that come into my life that teach me how to enter certain rooms, how to talk to certain people in a way,
Mm-hmm.
how to basically sell your services to people that need you rather than just trying to sell
Yeah.
a video,
Most definitely.
because like
Mm-hmm.
even now like videography and photography like it's a bit harder,
Mm-hmm.
like now that we're in this era where people are using their phones, they have editing apps now, so yeah, anybody can buy
Mm-hmm.
a microphone to connect to
Mm-hmm.
their phones now, so
Mm-hmm.
like they don't need to go all out on their quality,
Mm-hmm.
so you got to be like a salesman in a way.
Exactly.
You got
Yeah.
to be able to figure out how you're going to help people,
Mm-hmm.
um basically like give them the quality that they need
Yeah.
to grow as their business or as
Mm-hmm.
their brand.
Yeah.
So like I know that for sure like it's a struggle,
Yeah.
not to mention, you got you got
Competitors.
competitors everywhere, there's
Yeah.
tons of other videographers, tons of photographers that are either wanting to go against each other or
Yeah.
there's some people that even work together,
Yeah.
like I'm sure you've worked with tons of other photographer and
Millions,
videographers out here, like
Mm-hmm.
I think that's ideally what helps all of us grow together is as long as we're helping each other make money and we're all networking together and just finding new skills
Yeah.
that we can learn to grow, it helps everyone at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you know
And saying the part you said about networking, that is so important. I didn't realize how important that was. And what I mean by that, not just necessarily meeting up at an event. Say, hey, I'm Chris. No, building relationship with people.
mm,
That's what brought me far. Just knowing how, like, there are so many. I remember this one person. I'm not gonna say their name. I was downtown doing my first photography photo shoot of this couple. I finished, and my wife was with me, and I packed up. And she said, "Okay, I'll meet you at the house." I said, "Okay." I'm taking my time to pack up. This one lady, she was like, "Hey, I see that you're a photographer. We're doing a photo walk. Do you want to join us?" I was like, "Man, I'm new to this. I'm just trying to figure it out." And she was like, "No, yeah, come, come." I was the only black person in that circle walking downtown
oh,
Fort
wow.
Myers. And to be real, because of this woman last year connecting with me, I probably made over 15K just off of her referrals. And
Wow.
that wasn't a lot of referrals. That was like maybe 3 or 4.
So
So that just shows
they
you
were pretty good, like they
they
took
were
care of
paying.
you.
Yeah, yeah. So, but all because I was willing to jump into something different that I never experienced before. And now to this day, her and I are like best friends.
That's
Like we
awesome.
call, we just connect, we just talk on the phone. When we talk, so but that's the importance of really building a relationship with people. And at
Mhm.
times when she can't do certain jobs, she be like, "Hey, I'll hit my buddy up, Chris. He'll take care of you." You get what I mean?
That's
So
awesome.
and that's what it's about.
Yeah, that's something that I've been trying to work myself because like I have my moments where I can be a very introverted person.
Yeah.
I don't always like to go up to strangers and like try to convince them or just talk to them about myself
Yeah.
because I always feel like sometimes like I'm just like dang, like am I representing myself very very well?
Mhm.
Am I talking properly enough? Do I look serious? Like I want
Mhm.
people to take me serious.
Yeah.
I don't want to look like just some kid with a camera who that can give them the quality and they're
Mhm.
gonna take advantage of me. Like no, like I want to be taken serious as an actual business owner, someone that can actually grow and do this as a legitimate thing. So you know, being around certain people, it does help you.
Yeah.
You're with the right type of people who got the good mindset, that not only are very sociable themselves, but like they're very kind, so they can educate you.
Yeah.
Or they even just help you, put you into those certain room where they introduce you. Like my friend Sharita helps me a lot all the time, which is great. She knows a lot of people in the city that gets, even if I don't always feel comfortable approaching them, she always finds a way to bring them to me, and then I can find a way to, like, how do I steer the conversation, So
Yeah.
it's having the right type of people that can help lead you the right way,
Exactly.
like, especially with you, like, helping me, putting me in certain places with you. you know People see me working with Bam, so they'll see me as like, oh, okay, he's also a videographer as well. There's more people out there that we can hear, see what their work is like. Because honestly, even like at the church, like ever since I started posting a lot of content with the
Yeah.
church and everything, I've been getting a lot of follows, which is great.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of them are from the church as well,
Yeah.
which is nice because I mean it helps me, grow PR, watching, see what I do. And so, now I gotta really step up.
Yeah.
And because it's just funny because I can be very open when I'm like even behind the camera talking to myself or talking to you. But when it comes to like going up to a complete stranger, you're just like, it feels like homework or like a test in a way,
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, all right, how am I gonna get this? How am I gonna make it right?
Exactly. And that's why I tell people, don't be afraid of no and not yet. Because I'm the type, I don't care if you LeBron James. I'm going to inbox you. I'm going to try to build a relationship with you. If I feel like you have something that I need and I can learn from you, I'm going to connect. And I think the problem with this generation, no one wants to sit and be taught.
Yeah,
Everybody want to rush out there and be their own brand.
you're right. You're right.
Like I sit and study people, but I study them for a reason because I want to grow. And even when I first started, I think it was Lionel. He's located out of Naples. I hit him up. I said, hey, I'm getting ready to do my first wedding. Before I do my first wedding, I would love to shadow you. I said, if I gotta pay you to be under you, I would do whatever. You don't have to worry about paying me to come to your wedding because I want to learn from you.
Nice.
He showed me a lot of different things. This other person, Ty Jackson, he gave me a lot of equipment for free, probably like $2,500 worth of equipment because he's seen my potential. He's like, Chris, you're going to go far.
That's awesome.
And Ziana is the same way. She just pours into me, like, give me, like, when it came to during the Christmas minis, she was like, hey, you can use whatever I have. I'm like, what?
Wow.
Ava the same way. If I get stuck on something, you want to meet at Starbucks? Ava, she'll meet me just to break it down to understand the concept. But people will only do that with you if they feel like they have a genuine relationship with you.
Yeah,
and it's not one-sided. And I make sure my relationships are not one-sided.
Yeah, because you don't want to make it feel like you're just using people. Like, you wouldn't have that genuine conversation, genuine relationship with them. But
Yes,
I
sir.
totally understand. But I do want to add on top of the no part is like, yeah, it's good to accept the fact that you're not always gonna get yeses, you are gonna get nos. But I think it's also good to always be cautious of your value. So you're willing, you can say no to certain things. Because like I've had moments myself where, you know, the money I needed the money, so I get desperate with certain jobs, and like Sharita knows, she's over there laughing in the background. I've put myself in bad incidents where you get desperate to do a job for something, and you start working for the wrong person.
And
They put you in bad situations, and it's just not worth it at that point. So yeah, you guys can always say no to certain jobs that you don't want to do, because I need to obviously learn, and I'm still learning this, of course. I'm not gonna say I'm perfect or I fail at this a lot, but like, it's always good to learn what to say no to, because not everything's gonna fit for you, your niche, and not every job's worth it.
Exactly. And Daniel, one thing I learned also, like, people, and this is just for band production. Now I'm very skeptical of when people tell me this is cost too much, and when they try to bargain my prices or they try to negotiate. Now my eyes are open. Like, that means BAM may not be for you. I can tell when someone genuinely needs a discount, and what they're trying to do, and they're not being petty and picky.
Yeah.
What has cost me more money over my years of working in this industry has been cheap clients. I could do a $10,000 project right now and send it off to the CEO, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, this is amazing." I can do the same type of work for a cheap client that want to spend $800, and they will have 7 revisions.
Yeah.
So I've learned over time, like when people become very nitpicky, or they trying to negotiate my prices,
Yeah.
I kind of just push them away and send them somewhere else, because evidently, and I want to be known. I'm gonna be real with you. I say this loud and proud. I want to be known as a very expensive production company,
Of
but
course.
that gets high quality
Of course.
work done. Like,
I
and people,
relate to that.
yeah, people say it all the time. Dang, BAM is so expensive. BAM, you're very expensive. Yeah, that's what I want to be, because I want you to value what I bring. I want you to value the sweat, the blood, the tears. Even when I got my degree, I received my degree. I did an accelerated program that took 2.5 years,
Wow.
bachelor's program. I was going through a divorce at that time, while in school, taking tests, while still serving, working at the church, while working for Lee Memorial as well as a security officer. I was doing all of that at the same time. So you mean to tell me I'm not gonna charge what I feel like I'm worth when I done put in the blood, sweat, and tears?
Exactly.
You know, so
I
that,
mean, not to mention like the equipment, like
whew,
it's not
that's a
cheap. Like people expect, oh, let me do this for $300, $400.
no,
I'm
no,
like, no, what?
no, 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 no,
Like
no.
regardless, even if it's like a 30 to 60-second reel, like
Yeah, and that's what people get mixed up. They think because it's I only need a 30-second reel. Do you actually know how long it would take me to make something very nice within 30 seconds?
especially when they're asking still for like a ton of edits, they're wanting to
Yes.
do something crazy for their video. Like, no,
Mm-hmm.
because you guys still expect the editing time, the
Yeah.
software that we
Yeah.
pay for, the cameras, the lens, the microphones we gotta bring to capture your audio. Like
Yeah.
it's a lot. It stacks on it, but they
Mhm.
see it as like, oh, they just can do
Yeah.
little things here and there, and that's it. So it's yeah.
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 That's a subject that would go all night. So
Oh
I'm
my
sure we're gonna need
gosh.
to change this subject, because if not,
Yeah.
whoo.
So what type of videos does band production do?
We do a lot of weddings. That's number one. Like, we do promotional videos. We do special events. Uh, I'm gonna be real. We do everything.
Everything?
There's nothing we can't do.
What
And
would you say that you want band productions to be mainly known for?
just high quality videos.
High quality?
Whatever. I don't want to. I'm I'm an outcast. What I mean by that is I never stick to the box. I never stick to the regular system. Everybody say stick to one niche and you go from there. Like, if you're going to do weddings, focus strictly on weddings. I don't believe in that. That's not what have brought me the money. What has brought me the money has been doing a little bit of everything
Yeah.
and perfecting that. So
Because even if you stick to one thing, you can't expect that one thing is gonna make you money constantly. Like you have to put yourself out there for different things.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
So it's, to me, it's all about high quality videos.
yeah,
I want BAM to be known for a place of high quality.
nice.
That's it.
I really want, for me, I want to be able to help express storytelling more. You know, I want to
Okay.
be able to create more visuals with a little bit of emotion.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of, because like I really want to learn audio myself now, is like how to capture the right audio on people. You know, I want to add more sound effects to kind of make certain videos feel like it's a short film type thing,
That's the key.
like
Yeah.
movie styles.
Well, then you help me here, man. Like,
Yeah.
I can teach you what I know about audio.
Okay, perfect. We're gonna get started then. But no, yeah. So like, I don't even like to narrow down the things I do, because like I try to do everything.
Yeah.
And I tell people that too, is like I like to do. I mean, realistically, I do anything that, as long as people are willing to pay for it, you know.
There you go. Yeah.
But it has to come with a meaning of what they're looking for.
Yeah.
I don't want to just. I mean, I can do simple videos for people if they're looking for it, but if it's something that they're really wanting to go crazy for, I'm like, okay, bet you got me locked in. We are gonna go all out with this, and like, because like even those types of videos that you can use that as like a portfolio. Those are gonna be the type of videos that represent what your creative look is
Yes,
in your
you're right.
style.
You're
You
right.
know, so like that's why I always inspire to like work hard enough so I can, not only upgrade my cameras, but I upgrade my lights, my audio, everything, because I want to make sure that when I grow, people see that
Yeah,
progression.
yeah.
Like I'm not ashamed to show people of like how I started
Yes.
to how I am now. Cause like even with my YouTube videos, like when I've done like old vlogs or just doing like old business work and everything, like they seen how much I've started, which I was terrible. I was terrible. And even with the photography side, like I had a Nikon D3400 that was like a crop sensor camera. I think video wise, I had like a Canon M50
Oh wow.
with like a Viltrox speed booster, 18 to 35. Like I didn't know what I was doing. I was bad. And then it got into, buying better mirrorless cameras, learning color grading and learning the editing.
Yeah.
It's like the growth never stops.
Never.
And if it's
Never.
something that you truly, truly inspired and want to do, and
Mhm.
you want to get better with it, I feel like that's and I say this for me as well as like I think this is what God brought me on this earth to do,
Yeah.
is to create stories.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize this until I was probably in my early 20s, maybe 21. Like it really put a fire in me that like this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, I want to leave a legacy of myself. I don't have kids. I don't have anyone in my life yet.
Yet.
But when God brings me that right
Mhm.
person and I have that family one day,
Right.
they'll get to look back at it. They get to see what dad's done.
Yeah.
They get to see all the things I've done. I've changed my life to do better, and it inspires them. Not to mention, like, inspiring the next generation because I want to be able to teach. I want to be able to give back and show that the next generation, you can do this. You don't have to you don't got to work in a cubicle box. You
Yeah.
don't got to be an office person or work in a normal general job. Like, heck, now these days, being a content creator is making money for certain people. Like, as long as your dreams is broad enough, you can do it.
Yeah.
You just have to learn how to execute it.
Most definitely. I agree.
So yeah, that's I really feel like the next generation is just gonna get crazier, than what we're at now. But we are like the stepping stool
Right.
for
Right.
them showing that like they can do this.
Yeah. I agree. Awesome.
Okay, let's jump into see. So, did you have any other passions besides doing like the video and photography? Like were there other things? I'm assuming maybe like working as a minister, probably you were singing, you said. Would you say that was your passion, just being a part of God's work of being
Yeah.
at the church?
Yeah, that was my first love, my first passion. It's hard now because of, excuse me, just how I've grown in ministry and also how I've grown within BAM. So now I'm focusing more on how do I still masterfully do both effectively and without one lacking.
Of
You
course.
know, we talk about balance, and I think I hear Dr. Phil said sometimes, like, sometimes we don't need balance, we need harmony. We need things to just blend together, not balance out, because everything is not gonna have 50%. Some's gonna have 20%, some gonna have 30%, some may have 40, but it all has to equal to 100% together. So that's the season I'm in now, where I'm trying to make everything work within harmony. So yeah, that's what I was.
I understand that. I mean, I know for you, obviously, because you're a dad, you're a husband.
Chief.
You have multiple different things you're balancing. Church.
I have to manage people. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's a lot to take on, especially because you need to focus on yourself. You need to be able to pour into yourself before you're able to pour into others.
And that's why, Daniel, I believe in taking mental breaks, taking time for myself. Like, I will go on a cruise real quick just to get away. I'll bring my laptop, but
Shoot, I'm
I'll
ready
go.
for my cruise too, man.
So because what people don't understand as creatives, bro, just the burnout. Burnout is real. Like, you get to the point where you feel like you can't be creative anymore
Oh, yeah.
because you done edit so many projects. So I always try to take that time away, not just once a year, like at least quarterly. I'm taking some type of trip.
Mhm.
People see me, they be like, "Oh, Chris, going again?" Yeah, I'm going. I need this break because
I'll see y'all in a couple weeks. Don't
exactly,
don't blow up my phone.
exactly, and that's my mindset because I come back refreshed and ready to create. Like you say, you're a storyteller. Same thing here. Like, I love telling stories. Like, when I'm at weddings, I make mental notes. I'm like, oh, he just did a what you call it, the sigh. I said, I'm gonna use that in the video. Or I see a tear falling out her face. She just sitting there watching them. I'm gonna use that. I already paint the story of how it's gonna unfold based off of how the vibe of the wedding is.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause I know for me, like I said again, I don't have kids or a family yet, but I
Mhm.
have obviously I have my own struggles to balance with. I'm still doing a full-time job,
Mhm.
also working my own business, and then I'm
Mhm.
helping with the church now.
Mhm.
And so, you know, for me, it's like I have to figure out how I'm gonna balance everything in my life,
Mhm.
because I have a whole apartment to myself. I have a dog that I take care of, which I guess he's sort of like my own child, a little.
Yeah, yeah.
But, I try to also pour into myself and give myself that feeling of feeling unique in my way. So, like,
Mhm.
creating, I wanna be able
Mhm.
to make my own videos, get back and do my short films, but, like you said, it's, like, trying to find the balance, but,
Yeah.
I need to understand what it means to have harmony as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause, there's gonna be moments where I have to focus more on the bills
Mhm.
rather than do my passion, but then I'll
Exactly.
have one season where I can do my passion and not stress so much on my bills because
Mhm.
the passion is bringing in the money
Mhm.
for my bills. So
Yeah.
it's just trying to, like, understand and figure out, what works for you 'cause
Yeah.
it's different for everybody, you
Yeah.
know?
You know what brought me more success was when I made a decision to wake up early
Mm.
to start my day like at least 5. I'm getting up. I'm
Oof.
at the gym at 6. By the time I get done with the gym, I'm taking my son to school. I'm starting my day because I realize I need that time. And sometimes, especially when I'm in a busy season, I'll wake up at 3 or 4 in the morning.
Oh,
That's
wow.
my quiet time when I get to spend time by myself and I get to edit with nothing on my mind. Because creators, we create better when our mind is clear.
Yeah.
So that's why I like to start early in the morning. But the earlier you start your day, 9 times out of 10, you have a great chance of being more successful than waking up at 6, 6:30, 7 o'clock, and then by that time, once you wake up, you're rushing to get your day going,
True.
and all your phone calls have started coming in and all of
Yeah.
that stuff. And so, man, if I can tell anybody anything, wake up early, like spend like hour by yourself doing what you love, go to the gym, work out, and then get your day going.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
so
'Cause
important.
that's important, to
Yeah.
taking care of your body,
Yeah.
your mental
Mhm.
health,
Mhm.
'cause, like, that's been a routine that I need to get back into. I've been slacking on the gym lately,
You
but
stay right by the gym. Gym's right
I
around the
know, which is
corner.
crazy. You think that
So
too,
get up at
but
5 and go for an
I just
hour.
I don't ever think about having the energy or the time to go, but I'm
Mhm.
like, "Bro, you have 5 minutes, no excuses."
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like, I'm trying to rebuild
Yeah.
that structure again for myself, especially now, like, you know, getting into having the relationship with God for me is
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
I want to make the time to now read my Bible more,
Yeah.
write on a journal and like talk about, how my day
Mhm.
went, my
Mhm.
affirmations, pray more to God.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a big thing that I've been really wanting to do is to start
Mhm.
praying more, asking him to guide me, to show
Mhm.
me the path that I need to lead
Yeah.
this day, because I know each day is very different
Yeah.
and whatever happens yesterday was
Mhm.
yesterday. Like,
Mhm.
it's over, it's done. I'm looking here at the present and my future.
Most definitely.
So it's it's definitely a bit of a it's like you have to do it,
Mhm.
and I just like Dr. Phil said, like Dr. Phil's the pastor at the Agape Christian Fellowship. Um, God can be there to hear you and he can show you certain signs, but if you're not willing to take the action to
Yeah.
actually do it, then all those signs are worth nothing.
Nothing
You
at all.
know?
You're right.
So you have to be willing to look, hear, or see these signs and just take the chance of doing something,
All right.
rather than just hoping, oh, God's got me. He's gonna drop $1
Mhm.
million right at my front door.
It's
I'm
gonna
like,
take a lot of hard work.
well, like that would be some
Yeah.
crazy luck if that ever
Yeah.
happened.
And that's what I tell my kids. Like, nothing in life is free but salvation. And even that pretty much has a cost.
Exactly.
Because you have to have self-control, discipline, all of that stuff. But salvation is free, but everything else in life, you got to pay a cost.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
I don't want my kids to ever get comfortable off of what I had to work hard for. I want them to
Mhm.
go out there to work hard themselves.
Of
To
course.
create something. Look at Bronny James. He don't have to work. His
Mhm.
dad is a billionaire. But what is he doing? He's going out there to bust his butt every night because he's trying to build a name for himself.
Mhm.
Never want to get only name. There's the only thing I would say about names. Only name that or a person that I really would want to be like is Jesus.
Amen.
Everybody else, nah. There's an identity that he has given me through him. So
Exactly.
that's what I want to focus on. And that's what I want my kids to focus on, because we can make people or businesses an idol. And that's important not to do. Like, don't make nobody else an idol. Focus on the vision God has given you.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So I want to talk a little bit about, and this is something if you're comfortable, but how was, so you are obviously a married man.
Mm-hmm.
You've been with your wife for, I think about, you said 2 years.
Married to,
2
yep,
years.
you guys are 3, yep.
Were you ever single when you were when you did your videography, or did you start that with your wife?
Well, during the time I was single.
Or you were
We
okay?
were friends. Yeah.
So you were just slowly introducing each other.
Mhm.
Okay. Has because this is something that I like to probably hear for myself as well, is like, when you're running your own business and you start to build that relationship and move into getting into marriage, has there been like any issues of trying to keep that married life while you're going off doing your own thing as a business owner, constantly traveling? You're talking to different people. Because, like, and I'm not speaking for obviously your wife, but I'm sure like it's different with every person you might be with, or just different for everyone who's married. Because, like, I'm sure sometimes wives are gonna feel a certain way of certain clients that you might work with, and they're
Mhm.
oh,
Yeah,
why are
yeah,
you
yeah,
working
yeah.
for her? You're doing this for
Yeah,
her.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I would say for me, one thing I did at the beginning, I established um my wife, who was just a friend at the time, my work ethics. She knew I was a hard worker. She knew I talked to a lot of women. It's just come with what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but one thing, I've never made her feel like she was second, even through all of that. She's my number one priority. So, and that's what I had to learn. And it's gonna be moments where business owners, CEOs, bosses are like, you come home, you're overwhelmed, you're tired, you just want time to yourself, but you got someone there just waiting to see you and be with you. And that's why I realized, like, that's part of the sacrifice. That's why I wake up early in the morning to spend my me time for me. That's why I go to the gym, so I can be healthy and feel good for the person that I'm with. And that's what has brought us far, because, man, that's my best friend. Like, like I can't even describe doing life without her, because she don't work in my business, but she supports my business, and
Mm-hmm.
she's my peace. She don't. When I get home, she's not complaining. You've been gone all day. She understands, because we're on a mission to do different things.
Of
So,
course.
and once you have a common goal, like, it's easier to block out all confusion or things that could become a hindrance to your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I understand that, like, when you're in a relationship, like, you have your own individual paths to walk,
Yeah.
but sometimes your path can align together,
Mhm.
especially when you have God in the middle of your relationship. So it helps bring you guys together on working through your conflicts, your struggles of getting to your goals,
Yeah.
even though you have separate things that you want to do.
Mhm.
And I know for me, like, that's something obviously I want to learn.
Mhm.
I'm gonna continue to obviously focus on my goals in life, continue to follow God in my relationship, And then one day, if I have that partner where she has, and whatever she decides to do, you don't even have to do the same industry as me. Like if she say she wants to do hair, or she just works at Publix, as long as she's willing to grow, she wants to do better with herself, and she continues to grow with God. Like that's something that I love,
Yeah.
because she's now, and hopefully this doesn't sound like I'm being too picky on it, but it's like I like when you're with someone that's willing to actually do better than where they are now.
You can't remain the same.
Yeah.
Everybody is evolving and changing over time. The man I was at 21, I was a totally different person when I turned 25. From 25 to 28, a big shift happened. From 28 to 30, oh my God, my eyes became open.
Oh yeah.
And I realized, like, dang, Chris, you got so much to learn. You so far from where you need to be, but now you have gained so much wisdom along the way.
Mm-hmm.
I started applying the wisdom at age 30. In my 20s, I heard it all. The seeds were planted, but I never applied it. Now I'm 35. It's like, oh my God, Chris, you're on your way, but you still got to remain humble and teachable, because
Yep.
you think you're grown and know it all, but you really don't.
Nope.
So I'm still always listening and learn from every single person, including you,
Yes.
Daniel.
We're still. What are the passages say? We were childlike,
Yeah.
not childish.
Exactly. And that's what I'm learning. Like, it can be my son that's a baby. He's 15 months. I can watch him do something, even worship. Like this today, I posted a little video
Oh, I
clip of
saw
him
that. That's so
worshiping.
cute.
I was like, man, imagine as people of God if we had a childlike heart to be so innocent in worship, to be so vulnerable. And that's what I seen from him, and it just made me check my posture of worship, because you can see the innocence in his worship
I love that.
as a baby.
I love that. See that, man. See that's what gets me excited. Is like
Mhm.
one day when I get to be a dad like that, and I've always thought about like what it would be like when once I introduce him to like a church, introduce to
Yeah,
God, and
yeah,
show him, like you have a choice in life, but as long as you accept God in your life, He's gonna lead you to the right path, He's gonna give you the best life that you're looking for. If like, even for me, I know I've definitely grown since the first time I've probably moved here. Like, I was very childish. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I got out of a relationship, and, like for me, I always felt like I was supposed to be codependent with certain people, but I had to learn, obviously, I need to be more independent with myself.
yeah.
And like at the time, I wasn't Christian. I was still figuring out where my path was. I didn't know if God was ever looking down at me. And, I tried to understand what it is to grow up so fast, getting to my own apartment, moving out, and, trying to figure out life by myself.
Right.
And it took not even last year till I started coming to Agape, and, I started having my eyes open a lot more. Even though I started going to the church for the wrong intentions, it led me to realizing this is something that I truly needed.
Yeah, and now you have a community.
Exactly. Like I have great people I've met. I made some friends. I've got a lot closer to even some of you guys from the ministry. Talking to the pastor has been really great.
Yeah.
And now I feel like as I am growing as a man, I still have a lot to learn. And as much as I want to feel like one of those humble guys who can give off some kind of advice, I know I still have a lot to learn myself.
Yeah.
And I may not be ready to give those types of advice, but I can show that it does take hard work. It takes just making that action, that change in your life, that if you truly want to be successful, if you really want to be that man that you see yourself to become one day,
Yeah.
it just takes doing it, praying about it, and just making sure that you're with the right kind of people,
Most definitely. Yes, sir.
So yeah, let's see. Okay, we're gonna jump. Okay, so we're coming close to our ending pretty soon. So I want to ask, Now, say if you were say we would have had like, I don't know, a 14-year-old kid
Mhm.
come up to you and say, Chris, I really want to get into the ministry, or even like say if they want to start their own videography company. What advice would you give for the next generation? I would say, at least for right now, how much you learned, like what kind of advice would you give to them to grow and figure out their path?
To grow and figure out their path, I would tell them like they would have to do it. All of that will come through experience. You can't be afraid to try something new. I don't care how old or young you are. Don't be afraid to try something new. It's something I get on my 13-year-old son about. Like, hey, you need to run track. Dad, I don't know how to run track. Duh. That's why we want you to go out there and learn how to run track. Because what happens if you try to stick to one thing, God could have different gifts inside of you that you don't even know. But because you're afraid to try to cultivate it, to try to get it to birth out, you limit yourself to this one thing. And that's what I've learned over the years. So I would tell a young person, like, don't be afraid to try something new. Don't be afraid to try something that's out of what you normally do. So if you normally do hair, maybe you're a great motivational speaker and you don't even know that. Because while people are sitting in your chair, they are hearing you encourage them, motivate them. If you keep hearing say, man, is there something about when you speak into my life? That's a sign that you might be a great motivational speaker.
Mm,
Listen to the people around you, what they're saying about you. And through that, you will discover different gifts that you have. So yeah, I would tell that person to do that.
I love it. I love it. Cool. Um, Sorry, I had a brain fart for a second. So, what? Tell me, what do you have any passion projects coming up? Anything, whether if it's personal for you or even like a big project for band productions, or something that you may want to say mention from like the church that's
Mhm.
probably coming up within 2025 that could be very big that we may need to know about?
Yeah. Well, I do have something big coming up. I just can't announce it right now.
That's fine.
But it's coming up soon. Um yeah, but there are other things as well. But there's one big thing that's coming up and that I'm so excited about. It's gonna take a lot of it's taking a lot of hard work, but I believe I'm just trusting God that for all of the hard work that I put in, that He's gonna reward my faithfulness. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Hey,
yes sir.
well, just make sure you guys follow Bam Productions
Please.
and social media so you guys can keep update of what's going on.
Yeah.
And he'll let you guys know on the big exciting.
Yeah, and then you already know.
Oh, I already know. I just can't say it.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe sign an NDA, you know.
yeah, all that.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now we are going to play a quick game before we end the podcast, which is called Substance. I'm sure you guys have seen this before. This was created by a TikToker that goes by Lovely. Um, so Substance is kind of like a icebreaker type of game, right?
Okay.
You got 3 categories. You got Mind F, you got Intimacy, and you got Vulnerability. So each one, it's gonna ask different questions, and within the question, you are going to basically just answer it.
Okay.
You know, you can either get really in depth with it. You can, I cannot shuffle cards for the life of me. But yeah, you can either get in depth with it, or you can just talk about, keep it short and brief for yourself.
Cool.
Let me see if I can. Clearly, I don't play with cards, so I don't know what I'm really doing. But
You're doing a good job, Daniel. I'm proud of you.
yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying. Let's see if I can.
I had to bring you to the house so you can play spades.
Yeah. All right. All right. All right. We'll just do it like that. That should be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys see, I clearly attempted to shuffle it. All right. So you're gonna pull one card out. You're going to read the question, and then you will answer it how you like.
Tell the story of the most embarrassing moment of your life. Woo!
What's the category on the backside?
Intimacy.
Okay.
The most embarrassing moment of my life. That's a hard one, but I would say one of the most embarrassing moments of my life was when I was at the church playing piano. This was before live streaming. I was on the piano playing, singing my heart out, and I fell out the chair. Yeah.
Oh
Wow,
no.
did you see your face just then your whole jaw just dropped, fell out the chair. But I did not stop singing. I just stayed down, kept singing, got up. They brought
Oh
me another
man.
chair, kept moving. But we didn't have
This was
the
live, you
string.
said?
No, we didn't have live string back then. So
So we can't
God,
watch this video. I
no,
would have
God's
plugged you
greater
in this.
sufficient. Yeah,
That's
that was an
crazy.
embarrassing moment, but I'll never forget that. But it was funny at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, of course. Okay, I'm gonna pull one out now. Let's see what I get. Okay, I got mine F. What is the name of this chapter of your life? Oh man.
Mhm.
What would I name this chapter of my life? I would say, what would be the right word? I want to say like not re it's kind of like revision, but it's more like
Mhm.
I don't know what the right word would be. But like I guess comeback?
Mhm.
Maybe comeback? No.
Mhm.
What would you say would be the right? I'm trying to think like it's transitioning, you think so? Yeah. That that might be it.
So call it the transit.
The transition stage. Yeah, cuz obviously I'm going through a lot of changes myself, not only with my religion, my relationship, but
Mhm.
just being more independent myself, moving out of this apartment to a different place by myself, and just learning to grow as a human being, as a man, and understanding that 2024 was a bit of a struggle for me. I had
Mhm.
great moments,
Mhm.
but 2025 I feel like this is gonna be better.
Yeah, yeah,
It's gonna be way better because I'm meeting more people. That's not only gonna better me, but they're gonna watch me thrive as well.
yeah,
I'm gonna be able to travel more and
yeah.
just I feel unstoppable. Yeah, so I think that's yeah. I would say transition. See, shout out to Sharith in the background for that.
Exactly.
That's dope. All right, let's do one more and then we can call it.
Okay. Let's see. Go with this one right here. Vulnerable. Okay. What is the one thing you would say to your younger self? Be confident. Be confident.
Confidence.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because man, I was always shy. I struggled with a lot of stuff growing up, a lot of insecurities, like even about the way I speak, how I talk. Coming from an area where education wasn't pushed, actually, I feel like I went back to school at the age of 19, starting all the way over. I can guarantee you, probably at the age of 19, I was reading on third grade level.
Wow.
Yeah. And so my brother, he challenged me. He's like, Chris, I see a lot of greatness in you, but with the way we were raised, education didn't come first. So he began to give me a lot of books to start reading so I can comprehend because I couldn't comprehend anything. So yeah, that's what I would say. If I could say one thing to myself, be confident, and just be a learner.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I definitely can say I need confidence myself. I'm sure a lot of people out there can relate that we all need confidence,
Mhm.
especially when it means to like grow and just to
Mhm.
open up out of your shell more and really express who you are. All right. Looks like I
Okay.
got vulnerable as well.
Uh-oh, uh-oh.
What's an apology you never got to give?
Mm.
Oh man. It's a hard one because I don't know who I would say this would be towards. I guess the apology, let's just say for myself, the apology that I never got to give to myself would be it's okay to mess up.
Yeah.
It's okay that, you don't know everything. It's
Mhm.
okay that you aren't at the point where you want to be
Mhm.
because you still have time to learn. You have you've come so far regardless of whether you're at the peak of where you want to be or even if you've gotten a little bit better than how you were. Baby steps are better than no steps.
Yeah.
So, you know, just don't be so harsh on yourself and just know that you're doing good. And you're doing good and now that you have faith with God, you will go farther than you ever expected.
That's real.
Um I don't know if I should probably give one for another person, I would say the apology I would never give. It's okay that I'm not meant to be in people's lives. I'm not meant to be in I'm not meant to help certain people, you know. We all have our own paths, and I'm fine with keeping certain people in a season
Yeah.
when they're not ready for the next chapter in my life.
Yeah.
Because we all have our own lives to live. We all figure out things, and I always wish everyone the best to grow to be the best of who they are.
Yeah.
Because like my friend says, we are all roses that grow out of concrete, and we will thrive throughout anything. Some of us may have thorns that prevent others to get close, but it all just takes chances on life.
That's good.
So yeah,
That's good.
I would say
Yeah.
that's my apology. All right, cool.
Yes, sir. Well,
So that was substance. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Chris, if there's anything else you would like to say,
there is.
go ahead.
So, Daniel, I want to thank you for allowing me to be on your podcast. I don't get opportunities as often to speak up and talk about my journey. So I consider this an honor and a privilege. I know you've been trying to hunt me down for a while about this, and it's because I'm so busy, but I'm grateful to do this with you, and I'm just praying over your life, over this podcast, that it reaches many people and that people are blessed by what you're doing. And
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
sure.
I'm grateful to have you on here. Awesome. I hope to have you back on for the next season. So if you guys enjoy this, make sure you guys hit the like, comment. So much positive feedback for Chris here, who's
Yeah.
been really great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So
sir.
if you want to plug yourself in, any social medias, where
Yeah,
can
you can find me. My website is bamproductions.com. My social medias is Bam Production Films, which is where all of my wedding content goes. Then we have Bam Production Media, which is everything else. Bam. So yeah, you look up Bam Productions. I promise you, the way the SEO working right now for Bam, it's gonna come up.
It's working. It's working. So awesome. Well, I am grateful to have you on the podcast.
Yeah, sir.
Thank you so much. This has been really very great. Especially because we get to have this very nice organic conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is something I really enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Especially hearing people's stories.
Yes, sir.
I know we can get sometimes deep with things, but at the end of the day, this is what I feel like people should hear.
Yeah.
Is genuine conversations with each other, and we get to learn more about each other, and not to mention like people who support BAM or just know you as Chris, like they get to hear your story and understand who's Chris. So I think this helps a lot. And again, I do hope that I get to have you back for the next season. But thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. This is the Passion Project. I will be back with a new guest, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Please hit that like and subscribe wherever you're watching this. All of Chris's information will be down below in the description. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I will see you guys next time. Peace out.